guys, welcome back to the Pink Envelope. I'm here with the November Fall vlog, and we're going to be hanging with my backyard chickens, kind of showing off my urban babies that hang out here. I have a wreath I want to build with you guys for the chicken coop. I have some yard work I want to do, and I thought I would bring you guys along, so let's go build a wreath. Okay, I want to make another wreath with y'all, and as I was pulling this out, my husband was like, "Are you making another wreath?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm making another wreath." I have a lot of fun making a wreath. The difference in this wreath is that this one's gonna hang on my chicken coop. So this is for something completely different I haven't decorated in a while. Also, everybody's using grapevine bases, like the dried vine look that just intertwines. I've used it on a couple other wreaths. I'm using hay. I've not seen anybody using hay, and I'm bucking the system. So I've got a hay wreath. I bought this at H-E-B for like $9. I've got some magnolia leaves straight off of a magnolia tree. I've got some chicken feathers from my chickens. I have some faux wheat, and I have some real dried wheat. And then I may or may not plug in some orange flowers. I may or may not use the greenery behind the orange flowers. I may use just the orange flower. I don't know. I'm gonna build it out real quick. I wanna slap this on the chicken coop before fall passes by and these colors aren't acceptable anymore. But I wanna keep it simple. So I'm literally just thinking I'm gonna do a bias design. In our last video, if you wanna go up here, you can go check it out. We talked about doing a bias design and we didn't. I think this time for sure, bias design. This is just a generic wreath. There is no top or bottom, so I'm gonna make my top and bottom as I go. Since this is gonna be outside with a lot of elements, I am gonna use hot glue, but I'm gonna use a lot of wire to wire it in place and use the hot glue as a backup. So let me just get this base of these leaves down real quick. I leave the wire on the spool so I can pull really hard and use it as leverage, get it as tight as possible. Then I cut it once I'm done and know how much I need, which is this right here. This has a built-in cutter. Oh, man, my wire cutters are just so much faster, so I usually just go that route. All right, these guys are not moving. Like, they are super, super solid. That is like the base. Now I'm gonna start building out the wider with the wheats and then filling the center. But here's my base. I will warn you, working with a hay wreath is extremely messy, so go into a place you're cool with cleaning up afterwards. I'm gonna kind of tuck these and then let you guys see what I'm doing. So I want to use these dried wheats right here to create depth and elements. I want it to break apart the magnolia leaves. So you can see I'm trimming them and tucking them here. I may actually do a few that add like depth out to the side. Haven't quite decided. I'm like just kind of clipping them and tucking them, clipping and tucking them. Right now I'm just hot gluing them real quick. At the very end, I'll do another wire wrap to give it like checks and balances to make sure if here in Texas we hit one of those ungodly hot days that pop up every once in a while, everything isn't gonna go falling off my wreath due to heat. All right, we got a few more of the wheats popping out. I may add more later, I don't know. I may add more of the dried wheats, or I may add in these faux wheats, not sure. What I do need to decide is, do I want to put in flowers to cover and add some color with or without the greenery? Let me see if I can hold this up for you guys. So, do you think it looks pretty with flowers with greenery, or pretty with flowers without greenery? Ooh, I don't know, you guys. I think with the greenery gives a little bit of pop of color that I'm looking for. Oh, I hate when I get this way. So let me show you this. These are stems, like there are stems, like this was cut off here, stems. What I'm doing to make sure that this has greenery is, after I chop the top of the flower off, I'm gathering the greenery stem right here, and I'm just removing it off the main stem. It pops off pretty easy. I turn around and tuck the base of the flower into the greenery, and voila, I just throw away the extra stem and I have the green base immediately on the flower. If you go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, etc., you're not gonna find them like this. You're gonna have to pull them off the stem and put them together like so. But I'm thinking of doing that. Let's go for it, I'll show you in just a sec. Then we can use the extra wheats and the feathers to fill in and fluff the look. Ooh, before I do that though, I do want to come back through with one more round of wire and make sure I get these wheat stems all set and tucked away firmly. So far on this wreath, I have spent nothing. These are dried wheats I've had for ages. These are magnolias off a real magnolia tree. I've spent the $9 for the wreath that I bought at HEB, and that is it. I'm using my handy dandy little super cheap hot glue gun. I love this hot glue gun. So I'm gonna tuck that base in there. I'm trying to get the base of it a little bit into the wire I have existing, but I'm also putting a whole lot of hot glue on there. These are faux plastic flowers, which is really great. So this is all real dried stuff. It'll hang okay, but it won't last forever out there. These you can like literally just take an air compressor blower and blow them out, and they're like good to go the following year. It's pretty nice. If it gets into the sun, they'll fade. That is a disclaimer. They will fade in the sun a little bit. I've had these for 3 years, and I've used them in bouquets, long stems, and as they've kind of gotten beaten up, I've cut them down, I've cut them down, I've cut them down. And now that they're a little bit more on the worn side because they've been used for 3 years, I'm gonna put them on the wreath in the chicken coop, and you never know the wiser. I am really good at being really cheap about creating crafts. I don't know if I should be proud of that, but I am proud of it. With the magnolia leaves, if you have a magnolia tree nearby, you can cut them in a clump together. But if you can't cut them in a clump, or you're picking the leaves up off the ground, you can just wire the base together to create the 3 clumps. Mine are already dried, which is why you're seeing 2 different tones of brown and a little bit of green popping through. If you pick them green, you can design with them and do everything with them, and they'll slowly fade into the various shades of brown, which gives you 2 different looks in one wreath. I love to be able to pick green and put them on something and then have it fade into its fall colors. So I did that same hack with all 3 of these to make sure I had greenery at the bottom. I am kind of tucking the greenery to the base. I don't want the greenery cutting off another flower, but I'm going to show you real quick. This is what it looks like. It's still drying, so I need to be gentle, but I am loving the way it looks. And so while these are drying, I want to show you all the feathers. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know I've been watching and following my chickens around for 2 or 3 months now while they're molting. Molting is when a chicken loses its feathers at a certain time of the year so that new feathers can grow. Well, when I start to see them molt, I follow them around and I pick up all of their feathers, and I get literally hundreds each year. So I want to incorporate some of these feathers into this design, as after all, this is going on their home, the Chick Mansion. I'm gonna fiddle a little bit to see how do I want these to play in. So I think I might wire these together as one grouping so that they have some accountability to stay together, and then I'll add it into the wreath. Wiring little things like this is extremely hard. I like the accountability that it offers, but man, it's difficult to get that wire on there tight that they actually don't shift. So sometimes I use the wire, even though it's not as tight as I want it to be the catalyst to hold it together so that I could hot glue it all into place. Sometimes it just makes the hot gluing easier. So yeah, so I glued these 3 together like this, and I think I'm gonna tuck it right here. Let me show y'all. Can y'all see it right there by that wheat? I think I'm gonna do a few little groupings like that. I don't know if you guys can fully see in here, but this bag is full of feathers, and this is just my collection from this year. It's not like I've been collecting for years. This is just this year. That's how many they shed. Well, and I have several chickens, so that helps as well. I'm gonna create another grouping. You might have seen earlier that there's this wheat right here in this magnolia, and there's like a gap, there's a hole right here. I was saving that spot for feathers, and I think it's gonna be absolutely perfect to tuck some in there. This time I don't like the way the wire's making the feathers twist. It's kind of making them lay at a weird angle. So this time I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot glue on the grouping like this and just let it dry on its own here, and then I'll tuck my grouping. And the one thing I want to really encourage you guys is there is no wrong way to do this. I am making this up as I go, and if we turn around and we handed this to another person who also addictively likes to make wreaths, they would make this completely different. It's just however you like it, however you like seeing it. So you could copy this exactly if you're like my sister and she's like, I just these thoughts don't pop into my head. You can copy this exactly and do this, but if you're putting it together and maybe something doesn't lay exactly like mine, please know that it's good, it's right. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably be back here in less than a couple months changing this wreath up. So just dive in and design and play and know that whatever you're doing, I promise, is right. And the more you do it, the more you can see it and the better you get. Like when I look at some of my first designs, I giggle. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just now that I've made how many wreaths with you guys, I probably wouldn't do it that way again. The wreath that we're gonna take off the chicken coop, that this one's gonna go in its place, y'all are gonna laugh because it's definitely not my favorite. We made it in spring together. It's so weather worn. We're gonna pull that puppy off, repurpose the base, and put this guy up. All right, so there are the feathers on top right here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna tuck this little baby grouping like right here, just to kind of give it that little oomph. Remember, the things that we typically love the most about a wreath are the things we don't even really see or notice. It's like these little bitty accents that are there that we don't pick up, but it's like what makes the wreath or the product, the home decor, the whatever, stand apart. And be non-conforming. Look how they're all white and sticking out. That's great. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna hot glue the grouping, not wire it so that they don't move. I want them to stay exactly like I have them right here. So I literally just tuck those right there, kind of in the same symmetry of the leaves, the green leaves. I think I want to do one more grouping right inside there, and then I think I'm going to call it quits. I think I'm not going to use the faux wheats. I think I'm going to be done. I glued my fingernail into it. Ah! There we go. It's off. Now look at me. Okay, there's my little grouping. I found this teeny tiny little feather and I tuck it in. I don't even know if you guys can see it. It's tiny. Yeah, that's it, y'all. That's it. So now I just gotta decide which way do I want to be the top. Do I want it to hang like this? Do I want it to hang like this? Maybe we get it up against the chicken coop before we make that decision, and then I can put in some wire to hang it from. So let's go out to the chicken coop. So I want to introduce you guys to my gal pals. This is Betsy. Betsy is so cute. She's little bitty. I have no idea how old she is because we get them from a feed store and the feed store never knows what's up. Betsy here is going to be a barred rock hen. She'll lay a brown egg. She is so cute. I would say we probably have another 6 months before she lays an egg. But here's little Betsy. Birdie is an Easter egger and she will lay a blue or green egg, and she is feisty like me and bossy and pushy and loud, and I love her. She's so cute. My little Easter egger. Yeah. And this is Bea. Bea belongs to my oldest. Bea is going to be a silver lace Wyandotte. She has really cool patterns on her head, whereas the other black one just has one single dot on her head. And she got the cutest little wings. I just think she's so cute. She's gonna be a gangly little girl, I can tell. She should also lay a brown egg. And so we got these three ladies after we lost a couple of birds in 2020. It was so sad to have them pass away. That was the first time in 5 years we've actually had chickens pass away. So that was really hard, and we went and bought some replacements that were so cute, but they turned out to be roosters. So we had them find a new home, and we went and got these gals, and these are our new gal pals. Okay, so the last time I traveled, I went to Washington State. We flew into Seattle, went to Washington, and I fell in love with all the pine cones. So I literally shoved everything I could in my suitcase and created a carry-on just of pine cones. So I got a bunch of them. Like, look at these little, I don't know, like wispy hairs on these pine cones. Can you guys see that? So I got this bag of these. I got a smaller bag of these like longer, narrow pine cones. And then I got a bag of these teeny tiny babies. Like, look, teeny tiny babies. The pine cones were everywhere, you guys. Like, they're all over the grounds. And someone said I'm doing my civil duty by civic pruning for the state of Washington. And I was like, yes, I volunteer as tribute to take all of the beautiful greens, the leaves. Look at this. I was pressing leaves the whole time. It's so gorgeous there. I am definitely going to go back with a suitcase just to bring things back with, but I want to design. I want to design with these. Don't know what yet, but I wanted to share with you guys something fun with all of this is coming next. Do you guys remember the greenery I showed y'all last time? I've had it in here in the garage, hanging upside down and drying, and I think it's really working. Like, they're crisp, they're dried, they look amazing, they smell amazing. This is a silver dollar, some regular eucalyptus, some weeds that grow in the green belt by my house. It's just all so pretty. So now that I know that they dried well, they smell good, they look good, I've got to decide what we're gonna do design-wise. I may try to incorporate for Christmas, because if you remember my design last year, I'll link it up here. I took an old garland that I had and I revamped it with silver dollar and regular eucalyptus. So it may be really easy to plug these into a Christmas design. But if time runs out, which is very likely, or I don't come up with something brilliant, definitely by spring, I'll design with all of these and we'll do it together. Okay, I'm out here in front of the chicken coop. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be power washed, it needs to be de-spider webbed. We had all of these gorgeous vines growing over here. That February freeze in Texas just killed them all. So I've got to make a decision. Oh, hi little girl. I've got to decide if I want to take that down. I need to get all the branches out and then clean her up. But this is the wreath we made spring of this year. The sign's messed up. It's obviously covered in bugs. It needs a facelift. So we're gonna take that guy down, clean this up, and then the new wreath we just made is gonna go here. And I'm thinking about repainting this guy. It's been like this for nearly 5 years, and I'm thinking it needs a new palette. Just can't tell if I'm too sentimental to do it. Knock that over. Max, don't. Come here. Max, don't knock that over. Max. Max. Don't knock the camera over. Max. Okay, so I'm going to get this guy cleaned up. Get the cobwebs off. Get the old decor down. Kind of just do some tidying up before I put my new fall decor up. You may see these throughout. I'll even show you where I got these and how to put them together. These are reflective surfaces. They work great as hawk deterrents, and so we have these throughout the property. They actually are kind of pretty, like a disco ball as well. We'll take the base of that and repurpose it after we get it cleaned up a bit. Had my husband buy me this battery operated blower. It is the greatest blower ever. I have several different tools that are all battery operated in this. Perfection. Anytime I'm cleaning the chicken coop, I use all natural products, so I have a Grove all natural cleaner in here. I love the way it turned out, and the orange matches the reddish orange here, and I think it looks so cute. Now I just got to figure out how I want to mount it. I'm thinking pretty much where the other one was is where I want this one to go. I literally just grabbed the wreath, pushed it against the nail, and pulled down. It seems pretty sturdy in the hay. I'm going to ask my husband if that's acceptable or if that's an easy way out, or is it just pure brilliance? What do we think? I want to add, I have another idea. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it live together. I'm thinking leaves, like we should add fall leaves. What I don't know is if I want to add yellowish ones, like this color, or do I want to use the leaves that came in my Decor Stills box that are more of a reddish color? I love it. I love it. I think it's like the perfect touch of what we needed to add a little bit more color, a little bit more fall. You guys, this is coming together so cute. And then we've been having some problems with hawk attacks, like through this space here. See how open that is? There's nothing on top. Whereas you look over here, there's a tree, there's some vines growing, there's a little wannabe tree over here. We've got the table set, we've got a ladder. These are all things that protect chickens from hawks swooping down and grabbing them. So we're really vulnerable over in this space over there. And until those bushes can get bigger or the chickens stop eating those bushes over there, I purchased these pots right here that I want to put some plants in just to add more levels of protection. So I got these 3 pots. Okay, I've got a couple of plants here. Both of these are Texas-friendly plants. They're supposed to thrive here and they are non-poisonous to chickens. I'm gonna put these plants in those pots right there and transplant all of it over here to just create some pretty greenery protection. So let's get to planting. Look, you guys, she's been here before, or at least another monarch has, because there's one of my caterpillars has already gone into a chrysalis. I actually filmed this on my cell phone and got to see the whole thing happen. So I had a whole bunch of these caterpillars on these plants, but we have wasps that keep killing them. I'm very proud of this little guy. But I'm like super hopeful that the butterfly you just saw and others will come and lay more eggs, because I have a bunch of that butterfly plant, like a bunch of it. And I love, like when we lived in Houston, it was one of my favorite things to do. It's see the baby caterpillars turn into big caterpillars, to go into chrysalis, and then all of these butterflies start coming out. So spread the word, butterfly friends. We have a good place for you here in San Antonio. So John's working on the planters. Let me show you where these real quick planters we're building are gonna go. Okay. In the coop, we have a myriad of things. We bought this olive tree. He's like doubled in size. He has been so great. He drops olives the chickens can eat. The kids have formally named him Ollie. There's his nameplate. So Ollie resides right over here, but you can see on the other side this wooden ladder. I bought this wooden ladder off of Facebook Marketplace for about $50. And we were building a shelf for that to actually go on. We don't really like that hanging plant. It was a temporary fix. So we're gonna build actually a plant shelf that will have vines falling down it and plants pouring out to provide protection and cuteness. Yeah, that's nice. That's great. And then I wanna do something about this. I love how this vine grows across. I do not love how tacky the brown piece is, so I may try to dismantle that. I don't know, maybe overzealous, but this is my big prize vine. Look at this little wooden ladder. Our neighborhood our city has twice a year where the city comes and picks up any trash you put on the curb. You can put all sorts of stuff. It's a big dump pickup is what they call it. I pulled this out of a neighbor's trash for free. So we're gonna build another planter here on this shelf and have the same concept of the plants falling down for another piece of protection here in the coop.
securing it.
Love it. Okay. These guys are temporary. My old busted pot. Okay. Well, one of these on this side. Maybe this healthier one over here. I want to pick out a couple more things to plant in here. Oh, there's a ladybug. How cute. Okay, we got lots of little things done. So I'm loving the way that turned out. I left it neutral because of the fence and the ladder, but my husband's saying maybe I should paint it black. So y'all tell me if I should paint the new box we just built black or not. I mean, you see this fence, the ladder, the back fence. I feel like it just blends better not being a color. I've got a couple of vines that are wonky right now, but give them a couple days of sun and rain and they're gonna fall over beautifully. And I'm gonna throw some chrysanthemums up there because the chickens can't reach that. And then I'm loving this plant here. I will put in the description the name of this plant. It is a Texas recommended plant. I bought only plants that are recommended to grow in Texas because I don't want to have to keep replacing them and I don't want to have to haul the pots in when it freezes. I want it to be easy. And so far the chickens are not eating it, which is like a small miracle. And then we have the little ladder over here. I might put a pot on top. I just kind of stopped. I thought it looked cute. This particular plant right here, they have been pecking at it. But they did stop, like they walked away. So I'm wondering if they're over it and it's gonna stay pretty like that. I don't know. I'm going to actually give both of these plants that are in the pots a couple of days to grow and see what they do. If they grow really well, and it seems like the chickens are not going to mess with it, I'm gonna pick up one more to go into this pot here that will grow in front of the coop. I would put a chrysanthemum, and I almost did. I almost went and put a really pretty mum on this, took the picture, and then took it back out because the chickens will eat the chrysanthemum that fast. And then that felt like staging it for fall, but not being truthful with you guys. You cannot put a mum in there. If you see it on Instagram, they put that in there, they snapped the photo, and they yanked it out because those chickens will eat the whole plant. So, also, this pot right here is a hint for the new color scheme coming to the chicken coop for 2022. So more coming on that later. I'll show you guys this. Y'all see this plant right here? Can y'all see the bottom there? That's what happens when a chicken likes to eat the plant. No matter how hard I've tried, they are killing this bush. It's got look, one growth there in the back. If you look at the leaves, you can see they're all eaten apart. And it should be as big as that guy. See how much he's grown? I need to actually trim him. He's looking a little wonky. So I don't want to recreate this problem of a non-growing plant and they eat the roots. See all the rocks I've stacked down there? They even eat the roots. And y'all see all the silver things in the trees? If you've been around my coop, you've seen these a few times. I'm going to take you inside, show you how easy it is to put those together and to put them up. They work as a great hawk deterrent.
Will you taste the wine? I don't know if it's good anymore.
Yeah, I will, Dad. I will. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So I'm going to link this below. But this is a little thing on Amazon that I buy that is the bird repellent disc. They come like this with a bunch of discs and a bunch of hooks. I'll get that in a minute. And so you literally have to peel the little blue plastic protectant off the outer edge of it. Not the easiest. I mean, it's not hard, but it's like you have to have some patience for it. And then you take one of the loops here. It's like a keychain effect. You spread it apart and you thread it through the hole that is there so that it's hanging like so. And you repeat this 3 separate times. These discs where you put this on, the discs are not the strongest. So you do have to be gentle or you'll crack the top. I've cracked the top on a few of them and it's made 0 difference. It didn't make the disc not work. It didn't make anything not hang. It worked just fine. But I mean, ideally, you don't want to crack it. So then you start connecting them together until you have 3 discs hanging straight down. All right, once you have all the little keychain things in the disc together, you have this little bitty hook right here that it comes with. You're gonna thread the hook through the little keychain thingy. Y'all like my terms? I don't know. These probably have real terms. I have no idea what they are. And that hook's there. Then this little hook thing hooks to this little hook thing. It's a little rough around the edges, like whoever made this definitely could have simplified it, but it's cheap, it's easy. I will then go hang this on a branch, and as the light reflects, it deters hawks from coming towards the light. I know we have seen a difference when we have these. So we had 3 hawk attacks back to back to back, and I noticed all my discs were like 2 years old and no longer shiny and reflective. So I went and ordered a bunch more of these and put them in the trees, and we had 1 more attack, but not in the area where I hung these, somewhere else. So I got more to hang in a new area. I don't hang them in line of sight. Like, I don't want to look out my window and see a bunch of this hanging in my pretty coop area. So I hang them up high in the taller trees from the house. I just need the reflection, the sun to hit this and create those ricocheting of lights to be scary. Okay guys, what you think of our little chicken coop makeover? I have the full, like, big makeover I want to do, where I want to repaint the chicken coop. Look for that to pop up in like 2022. I have to get through this holiday season. But I'm loving this little bit of touch. I love the Decor Stills garland around the edge. I love this really cheap, easy wreath we made together. This was a lot of fun. I hope that you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.